Solway. Today we're going to be taking a look at the story Taberna. It's on page 114. You can use the Story Explorer on this, but just beware that the Story Explorer is a little bit different than in the version in the book. It's happened before. They've changed things, presumably to make it easier, but I don't particularly think that they did. I think they just made it different. That being said, let's go ahead and take a look at this. Postquam ad urbum advenimus, ego Clementi, diu tabernam quaerebam. First thing you should notice is the dative Clementi. In fact, this story is chock full of datives to hopefully to try to bring some of this back to the forefront. A word that you may not remember, diu, means a long time. And quaerebam, this is an old word. Quaerebam, we get words like quest and inquire, right? To look for, to search for. Postquam, after, ad urbum advenimus, we arrived at the city. Ego, now we're changing the subject. Now I'm the subject instead of we. I, for Clemens, for a long time, was looking for a shop. That's something that Quintus, as the former master of Clemens, would be responsible for to try to set him up for success now that he's a freedman. Tandem Barbilus, qui multa aedificia possediebat, mihi tabernum optimum obtulit. Tandem, finally, at last, Barbilus, who, now we have a relative clause here, who multa aedificia possediebat, who many buildings possediebat means possess or owned. So who owned lots of buildings, mihi, another dative, to or for me, tabernum optimum obtulit. Obtula is from a word, again, you probably don't remember this one. It's a pretty old word, pharaoh, ofere, obtuli. If you look at the first couple of principal parts of that, you could have figured it out. But that third principal part, the past tense, is a little tricky. So it comes from ofero, ofere, obtuli, meaning to offer. Finally, Barbilus, who used to own a lot of buildings, offered me a great shop. Thanks, Barbilus. Haec taberna prope templum isidis erat. In this sentence, the only real thing to notice is the genitive. Templum isidis, the temple of somebody's temple. Isis is an Egyptian goddess that was adopted by the Romans. Sadly, because of COVID, we had to skip over stage 12. He credits her with saving him after Vesuvius erupted. So that's a good place for him. So this Haec Taberna, this tavern, this shop, prope templum isidis erat. So where was it? In hoc parte orbis via est, in qua omnes tabernarii vitrum vendunt. In hoc parte. Hoc is just the ablative form of hic haec. We'll learn that pretty soon. So it just means this. It's just the ablative form of this. In this part, and we have another genitive, in this part of the city, what's there? So via. In qua, another ablative for us. Qua is just the ablative form of qui, quae, quad. So far, I've only shown you the nominative and accusative. There's an ablative. So we'll have to make sure that our charts are up to date. In which omnes tabernarii, remember a tabernarius is a person who owns a tabernaria. So all the tabernarii vitrum vendunt. What do they sell? They make and sell glass. Glass jars, glass, maybe even window panes, glass cups, glass plates, glass bottles. Facile est illis tabernariis, mercum vendere, quod vitrum Alexandrimum notissimum est. Illis tabernariis is another dative. Illis is the dative form from ille, illa, illud. It's just the opposite of hic, haec means that. So here it's plural, so of those. It is easy for those shopkeepers. And then we have the infinitive vendere, to sell. Mercum is just the thing that a mercator sells, right? A mercator is a merchant. A merchant sells merchandise. It is easy for those shopkeepers to sell the merchandise. Quad, here quad might be a relative pronoun, or it might be the word because. If it was a relative pronoun, it would have to mean which. It is easy for those tabernaries to sell the merchandise. Which, maybe? Or maybe because. Let's put a pin in that. Vitrum Alexandrinum notissimum est. Alexandrian glass is notissimum, very famous. So let's go back and make which one makes more sense. It is easy for those shopkeepers to sell glass. Which Alexandrian glass is the most famous? I don't think I like that. It is easy for those shopkeepers to sell the merchandise because Alexandrian glass is very famous. I like that better. Sometimes it's just what you have to do. You have to, if you have a choice between two English words and you don't really know what makes sense, you have to try them both out. Taberna. Quam Barbilus mihi offerebat, optimum situm habebat, optimum lucrum. Taberna. Now we have definitely a relative pronoun. Quam Barbilus mihi offerebat, which Barbilus offered to me, or for me, there's that dative. The taberna had a great position, a great site, a great, maybe we say a great location, and it also had the best lucrum, best profit. So this is a good place for Clemens to set up shop. It's a good spot on the glassmakers road, and it makes a lot of money. Good. Barbilus tamen dubitabat. Barbilus, however, was doubtful, or was doubting. Okay, so this is as far as I'm going to go giving you all of the English. From here on out, I will read it to you, and I'll point out things that you need to know. But no more English for me. So what is wrong? Why is Barbilus doubting? Sunt multae operae in illa parte orbis. Illa is from ille, illa, illud. It's a word meaning that. It's just the ablative form. It goes with parte, in illa parte. And orbis, we have a genitive again. Multi operae, I know this AE ending has been getting a lot of use lately. Here, it's just the nominative form. Multi operae are the ones who are doing the verb. So tell me about the multi operae. Where are they? Tabernarii operas timent, quad pecuniam extorquent, et vim inferunt. This quad here is another because quad. It's a pretty straightforward sentence. Tell me about the shopkeepers. What about their relationship toward these hired thugs? Operae libertum meum interfecerunt, qui nuper illam tabernam tenebat, eum in via invenimus mortuum. Operae, okay, let's go back. Operae libertum meum interfecerunt. Oh boy. Qui, going back to, we have a relative pronoun. Let's tell me more about my freedmen. Who nuper illam tabernam. There's that word Eli again. We keep using that. It just means that. Who nuper illam tabernam tenebat. So tenebat is gloss first down here is to hold or to own. I think here it's better to own. Who nuper used to tenebat illam tabernam. Eum in via invenimus mortuum. Eum in via invenimus. Oh, mus. So the subject is we again. So we invenimus him in the via. How did we invenimus him? We found him. Whoops. Mortuum. Oh dear. Libertus, qui senex obstinatus erat, operis pecuniam dare noluit. Another relative pronoun for us. Who was a senex obstinatus, Go back to the main sentence. Noluit, that's from our irregular verb, nolo. He noluit dare. This is a word from like stage 10. Why did the operae attack this old man? Operae eum necaverunt, tabernamque direpuerunt. All right, so these hired thugs, they did two things. Necaverunt is that's an old word again. It's another word. It means the same thing as interficere. We just had that one a little bit ago, if you remember that. Also, the picture might help you. What'd they do to him? So that's all Barbilus telling us why he was doubting, why he was doubtful about this site, even though it's got lots of profit and it's in a good situation. What's wrong with this site? Well, Quintus responds, Clemens vir fortis, non senex infirmus est. Clemens is a vir fortis, and he is not a senex infirmus, who may be able to defend himself a little bit better. Fortuna semper ei favet. Hanc tabernam Clementi emere volo. Ei is a dative. It's dative because favet needs a dative. So Fortuna gives favor to him, perhaps. Hanc tabernam. Hanc is just an accusative form of hike. So it means this. This tabernam, another dative Clementi, to or for Clemens, emere volo. Volo is just the opposite of nolo. We had nolo before. Not only does Quintus have a good feeling about Clemens being able to handle the shop, he also feels that Fortuna will give him the opportunity to do this. Tibi centum aureos ofero, placetne. Tibi is another dative, to or for Tibi. Barbilus responds, mihi placet. Mihi, another dative, to or for. It is pleasing for me. Centum aurei sufficient. Quintus makes an offer on the shop. 100 gold coins. That's a lot of money. In this time period, gold coins are the biggest denomination of money that they had. 100 of them. That's a lot of money. So, assuming probably that Clemens will be able to make the money back. Barbillo, another dative, Barbillo, to or for Barbilus, egitor centum aureos traditi. And that's the end. I suppose those hired thugs might come back into play. Wale.